Testimony reviewed the reports in this case. I'm finding that the administration of drugs, the force, the involuntary administration of drugs is medically appropriate for this defendant's condition. The medication is likely to render the defendant incompetent to stand trial, and it is substantially unlikely to have side effects that will interfere significantly with the defendant's ability to assist counsel in conducting a trial defense, and that less intrusive means are unlikely to achieve the same or substantially similar results. The court is adopting the findings entered or the opinions given by the doctors. Further, the court finds that there's an important governmental interest in bringing to trial the defendant for serious crimes such as those with which the defendant is charged, and that involuntary medication is necessary to further the government's interest. So therefore, I am going to grant the motion for forced medications. The defendant is ordered to take all medications prescribed by the medical staff at Central Ohio Behavioral Health Care. Anything else for the record?
If I could, Judge. Your Honor, the state reserves the right, if need be, to argue that the defendant's voluntary choice to refuse medications tolls the time under the statute by which we must have him rendered competent to stand trial. It's not right for today, but we're putting the court and the defense on notice that we reserve the right to make that argument if we need to. Thank you.
Okay. And doctor, if forced medication were to proceed in short order today, tomorrow, within the next couple of days, when would you be able to provide an update to this court? When do you anticipate?
About the progress of how he's doing on the medications?
Yes.
It would take some time for the medications to be effective, and I would like to start at a very small dose, considering Mr. Hardy's reports of the side effects in the past. So it might take at least a few weeks for us to know how he's doing with that medication.
Do you intend to administer injections similar to his previous treatment?
I believe he would do better on the injectables, but I would start with the oral medications first and then transition the medication to the injectable.
Why start with the oral medications?
Just to know the tolerability of the medication.
Just to what?
Just to see how he would react on the medication.
Right. Is there any concern of him physically refusing to the point where you cannot physically administer those oral medications, or that he would somehow be evasive in actually taking it, even if given?
There is a possibility of that happening.
And how long are you going to attempt the oral medications before you move to the injectable?
My estimate would be like about 1 week before we can go on the injectable.
Okay. Once the injectables start, typically, and I know that every person is different, but how long do you feel, if the treatment is successful, that he would be restored to competency? Do you have a time frame?
Going with Mr. Hardy's history, I would estimate it would take about a month to 2 months.
A month.
But sometimes the delusions that he suffers from can be a little hard to treat. And
Can it be a little what?
Hard to treat for the symptoms to go into remission. And sometimes we might have to change the medication if he's not responding. My intention is to start him on the risperidol that he was on in the past and that seemed to have helped him. But if he's not responding to that medication now, we might have to go for a medication called clozapine, which doesn't come in the injectable form. But we might have to slowly titrate up the medication, which would take a few weeks.
Okay. Could we expect an update from you in approximately 6 weeks to 8 weeks?
That would be optimum, I think.
That would be what?
That would be a good time period for us to report.
All right. Anything else from counsel before we conclude?
Nothing, Judge. Thank you.
All right. I will prepare the written order.